Hello, everyone, and welcome to Observations from the Fence Post. I'm your host, Robert, and this is a comic book review. And today we'll be looking at the series Clear, and this is hard copy issue number 2. Now, there's a reason I say hard copy. This series was previously released on Comixology, a digital platform. Scott Snyder had made a contract with Comixology to release some original content on a digital format. That was back in 2021. So this series actually was originally published back in 2021. Fast forward to 2023, and Dark Horse Comics is printing a hard copy version of this really strong series, Clear. Now, there's going to be 3 hard copy issues of Clear released, and in September they're going to release a trade paperback featuring the whole series. When it was on Comixology, it was released in 6 what we would call issues. As I mentioned, Dark Horse is going to be putting it out in 3, each of them containing 2 of the stories on Comixology. So this one being the hard copy number 2, that's going to contain number 3 and number 4 as they were published on Comixology. So I really debated how hard I want to review this. I really don't want to give any spoilers because I'm hoping that a positive review will cause readers, fans of comic books, maybe fans of Scott Snyder, to go pick this up right now in the hard trade. I mean, in the single issues here, or the trade paperback coming out later on in the year. So I don't really want to ruin a lot of the story, but I will give you some setup. The place is San Francisco, California. The time is the year 2052. And in this timeline, humanity can directly connect themselves to the internet. Now, because they can do this, they are also able to purchase these things called veils. And veils allows the purchaser to see the world in any way that they deem based off of the veil that they purchase. So like I could go in and purchase a veil that allows me to see the world in the 1980s, even though it's 2052. Or I could buy a veil that puts me into seeing the world in a cartoon format, or more futuristic format, or an old Western theme. And these veils make up the majority of capitalism now. And of course, being the case, there is a black market where you can kind of custom order some veils too. And so what we have here is this series starts off with a mysterious suicide. A woman jumps off the Golden Gate Bridge. And then we are introduced to Detective Sam Dunes, who is our main power player. And he believes in seeing the world clear, hence the title of our series, Clear. And this is a veil that allows you to see the world more as it actually is than living in a fantasy. And throughout the series, Detective Sam Dunes finds out that he is not alone in his desire to see things clear. Let's take a look at some of the artwork here. It's just very strong. Right here is a flashback. Okay. This is kind of Sam back in the modern world. Dealing like here, he's has found a group called 1518. So let that be some teasers here. What Sam has started off with was he initially started off investigating. He initially started off on just a private detective situation. He was then brought into a scenario where he started investigating the death of this woman who jumped off the bridge. That then led him into investigating. It seems like there are some folks that have been trying to create this concept called a shared veil, and that can be very difficult to pull off. And that's kind of where we are left at the end of this particular issue. Let me give you some more. This is how you determine where one issue ends and one begins. So, this was the end of the Comixology as they number it, issue number 3, and this would be the beginning of issue number 4. Okay, this is interesting. These characters are known as Yellow Eyes, and they mimic other characters. So we don't have the full story of the yellow-eyed people. So there again is another teaser to let you know that this is really a tight story. It's intriguing. It's very interesting. It's as much as it is science fiction and detective stories like Maltese Falcon. It's also speculative fiction. It would not surprise me if sometime in our future we were able to directly connect our brains to something, some version of the internet. I'm sure that sort of technology is being pondered and considered. So I also consider this speculative fiction, and it's done very well, as you can, as I've shown you some of the artwork. Very intriguing, very well done, and the story is just captivating. It's full of intrigue. Right here, right here, here's Sam. This is a character that had hired him on his last detective case as a private detective, and it just gets deeper and deeper and deeper, and I'm really looking forward to issue number 3, which will contain the last 2 issues. And this is a very high recommend. I'm very pleased with where the series has gone. I've been kind of mapping it out just for my own sake as it goes. I have my own predictions, but again, I don't really want to ruin anything. I do think we're going to get to the bottom of the yellow-eyed people. That seems kind of obvious, but I'm not for sure we're going to reach a point where if I had to predict, I'm not for sure we're going to reach a point where we can legitimately engage in what the series sets up as a shared veil. I think that's going to fall apart if I had to predict. Okay, but I do think we'll find out more about the yellow-eyed people, men or people in general. So anyway, that is my review of Clear, hard copy number 2, written by Scott Snyder, artwork by Francis Manapul, and publisher Dark Horse Comics. And listen, thank you very much. I hope I piqued your interest. I hope that this is something you consider closely, and if you're into comics. And if not, this does make me think, after all this is over, I may do a spoiler-filled review where I can talk more in detail, because I've been totally captivated by this particular one. And I think I've mentioned it before, but right now my two favorite writers in comics are Scott Snyder and Jeff Lemire. And that's why so much of my stuff has been based off of their works of recently, because they're writing some quality stuff. They have both written for the big 2 companies, DC and Marvel, but their independent work is just fantastic, and Clear is no exception. So it comes as a high recommend. So anyway, thank you, everyone. Remember, as I always say, keep it between the ditches, and peace, and smile at someone today and make their day. Okay, thank you, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.